And feel that relaxation go from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes, making your body deeper and deeper relaxed. Now you can be aware of the relaxation spreading up from your toes now, going up through your calf muscles, all the way to your knees, flowing up into your thighs. And with each breath you feel more and more relaxed. The relaxation can now go up the large and small muscles of your neck, of your back, all the way up to your neck and over your shoulders and down to your hips. The relaxation can go all the way down your arms, all the way to the very tips of your fingers. Every muscle in your body feels deeper relaxed, deeper relaxed, deeper relaxed. And relaxation can now go up to the top of your head and into your forehead, down into your eyes. Feel the muscles of your eyes relax. Feel them deeply relax. All the muscles of your eyes relax. And just to test this out, just close your eyes and then open them, making you feel, just to test to see how deeply relaxed they are. Let the relaxation you hold in your eyes go down through your nose, into your mouth and into your chin. And if your mouth is closed and your teeth are clenched, just unclench your teeth and feel yourself becoming deeper relaxed, deeper relaxed. So still focusing on your breathing, I want you now to take yourself to a room, a special room, still feeling comfortably safe and deeply relaxed within your own space. And in this room, we call it a pleasant grey walled room. You are totally free of any claustrophobic feelings. You can just feel welcome and completely at home. This room is small, round, grey walled, and it has a domed ceiling. Once you visualise it, you just nod your head. The way an igloo might be inside, and you can now sense that this grey walled room is actually your subconscious mind, the core of your being, the very centre of you. You now notice that clinging to the walls of this room all over are little bits of what appear to be paper. Some are red and some are white. Moving to the wall now, you sense that stored on what appear to be the red bits of paper are all the negative thoughts, emotional energies and feelings from all your past, like fear, doubt, guilt, hatred, anxiety, rejection, unhappiness. All the negative, depressing, inhibiting, defeating thoughts and emotional energies and feelings from your past are stored in this room of your subconscious. And on these little bits of what appear to be paper, now notice that there are, on the white bits of what appear to be paper, are all the lovely, happy, positive and uplifting thoughts and the emotional energies and feelings like love, peace, joy, happiness, self-confidence, contentment, self-acceptance, forgiveness of self and others. And all these beautiful and uplifting positive thoughts and emotional energies and feelings are all these white bits of what appear to be paper Now become aware of this. You can pull what appear to be red bits of paper down from the walls. You can crumple them in your hands until your hands become full, and you can take them over to where a hole about 8 inches in diameter has opened in the center of the floor. When you see this opening, just nod your head. Now pour them through that hole and watch them dissipate into nothingness, so that these can never get back in again. And you can sense that with 4 or 5 trips, gathering down handfuls and carrying them to the hole and pouring them through, you can clean all the emotional energies from your inner self. So now at the count of 1, I want you to start working at it. I will sit quietly and wait until you have finished. There is no rush. And when you are through, I want you to gently nod your head until I say thank you. Now start at the count of 1 and clean it up. 3, 2, 1. Take as long as you like. Just be mindful of all those negative energies you are now pouring down through that hole, banishing them from your subconscious mind forever, making you feel at peace within yourself, making you feel a whole human being once again, making you feel stronger, positive, fulfilled, energized. All sorts of positive energies are now flowing through you as the more of those negative energies on the red paper are being scrunched up and passed through the holes, through the hole. So good job done. Good job done. Now notice that the white bits, the good, positive, energizing, helpful thoughts and emotional energies and feelings are expanding, growing to fit all the space left by the red ones you disposed of. Growing, expanding, until they fill the whole ceiling and all of the walls with beautiful, wonderful, positive white. Feel the resurgence of positive energy now within yourself, as you notice that the hole in the floor has closed itself, and the entire atmosphere of the room is becoming white. Now take a deep breath and inhale the purity. Take a deep breath and inhale the purity. The strength and the self-confidence, the love, the peace, the assurance, the freedom of this atmosphere, feel it spreading into every cell and every atom of your being. From this moment forward, moment by moment, minute by minute, hour by hour, and day by day, the thought and emotional energies of your mind remain so positive, so calm, so stable, just like now. And that every part of your body and mind remains calm, objective and creative, and functions to absolute perfection, just the way you were intended and designed to make you function with absolute perfection. And at the count of 1, the entire scene will disappear, but the beautiful positive effects will continue. 3, 2, 1. The scene disappears and you're beautifully relaxed, hypnotized, resting beautifully right here. in their own personal space. And I want you to know that as the days go by, you'll become more and more calm, relaxed, and confident. And these feelings of calmness, relaxation, and confidence will become more and more part of you, a part of your inner world. And very soon I'm going to emerge you, but before I do so, I just want you to know that as the days and weeks and months go by, so a tremendous amount can be achieved. Your mind will become calmer and clearer, crystal clear. You will think more clearly, more constructively, more positively. And because of this, you're coping more competently with anything you have to deal with. And as a natural result, you're feeling better about yourself. And the better you feel about yourself, the more calm and relaxed you become. Nothing and nobody is able to worry or upset you in quite the same way. You become much more sure of yourself, much more confident in every area of your life. A sense of excitement, a sense of adventure is growing daily in your being. You feel more optimistic and positive in every way. You look more confident, you sound more confident, you feel more confident as each day goes by. So you feel more and more in control of every aspect of your life, more able to cope, more able to handle, more able to achieve not only those things that you have to achieve, but those things that you want to achieve. And soon I'm going to emerge you, but before I do so, just allow yourself to accept the suggestion that every time you go into the trance for beneficial purposes, you'll find yourself going twice as deeply, twice as quickly into the trance, so that you can obtain maximum benefit from the trance state. Okay, in a moment I'm going to emerge you, and I will count from 3 to 1, and the count of 1 and not before, let those eyes open, become fully alert and totally refreshed, feeling wonderful in every way. Okay, at the count of 1, eyes open, feeling fully alert, and feeling marvellous and fantastic in every way. At the count of 1 and not before, let those eyes open, and when they do, just notice how good you feel. 3, slowly, easily and gently feel yourself coming back to your full awareness. 2, at the count of 2, you're still relaxed and calm, but notice your eyes under your eyelids feel as though they are clearing, as if they were being bathed in a sparkling, cool mountain stream. A wonderful feeling of powerful energy is flowing through your mind and body. You feel great. And in the next count, eyes open, fully alert, totally refreshed, marvellous and fantastic in every way. Get ready now. 1, eyes open, and just notice how great you feel. Welcome back, and have a good stretch.
every land. We must try to understand. Through his light and his love, we are one. Every creature from earth to sea, every leaf on every tree, we all share the same energy. Through his light and his love, we are one. We are one. I know that it's so hard for us to see. We are one. Illusion separating you and me. We are one. Caught in life's duality. We are light, we are love, we are one. Those who hear me, those who know, now it's time for us to show that his way is the way to go. Through his light and his love, we are one. We are one. I know that it's so hard for us to see. We are one. Illusion separating you and me. We are one. Caught in life's duality. We are light, we are love, we are one. See, we are one. Illusion separating you and me. We are one. Caught in life's duality. We are light, we are love, we are one. We are one.
Je sais que c'est si difficile pour nous de voir.
We are one.
L'illusion vous et moi, séparation.
We are one.
Dans la dualité de la vie.
We are light, we are love, we are one. We are one.
幻想を見逃さいの分かってる。
We are one.
人生の矛盾にとらわれた。
We are one.
あなたと私を。
We are light, we are love, we are one.
Sé que es muy difícil para nosotros ver.
We are one.
Ilusión tú y yo separando.
We are one.
Atrapados en la dualidad de la vida.
We are light, we are love, we are one.
Hey guys, welcome to lesson 67. Love created me.
Something to do with Google Chrome. Right, let's have a look. We're doing an experiment here to see what's wrong with the sound. Okay. Right. Okay. Just trying to get it back again. That's not it. You are part of an experiment now. Right. You're part of an experiment now. Still rubbish. The same. There must be something to do with this computer.
Laurene.
It's my computer. Must be.
Laurene,
Yeah?
I do have to leave at 9 o'clock, so you know.
Okay, okay.
It might be best to, if you want to sort it later so we can have more time to talk, you know.
Yeah, as I say, I have to test it with someone on.
If you want to sort it later so we can.
And as I say, they're not, it's just a complete waste of time. But yeah, I think it's good enough to do a quick. It's a really annoying squeaky thing.
Hey guys, welcome to A Course in Miracles, and this is lesson 67. Hey guys, welcome to A Course in Miracles, and this is lesson 67. Love holds no grievances. Oh God. I'm in a lot of pain today, so I decided I'm going to go and sit in the garden and soak up the sun. And there I am enjoying the sun and people turning up, no masks or anything. The postman, no mask. And I'm thinking, brilliant, something is changing. And then the idiots from next door come out and they go, "Have you had your injection?" And the other one, "I've had my injection. I'm so happy. I'm so happy I've had my injection. Oh, and they're so good and they're so wonderful and I love this. And oh my God." And then there are all these little old people asking each other, "Have you had your injection?" And oh my God. And then I ring up this little old lady that I look after. Well, I've been looking after her for years, and we've talked about the injections. We've talked about all of this vaccination stuff. And she's saying, "Oh, they gave me one and I've got a bruise." And I said, "You don't have to have it." And I can feel the anger that they've taken away her right to say no. They're plonking it on her. She says, "Oh, they won't come in and do my care work if I don't have the injection." And I'm thinking, she's 93, 94, leave her alone. And I can't cope now. I can't cope. I can't cope. I feel like this is not right. Leave her alone. This is not right to do this to anyone who doesn't understand the implications. She's so innocent. And she said, "Oh, I've got to have my second dose soon." And she said, "I've got a big bruise on my arm. And there's nothing I can do." And love holds no grievances is my lesson today. Lesson 67, love holds no grievances. We talked about love yesterday. Love, unconditional, holds no grievances. This is 2021, and we have so little control over everything. But love holds no grievances. What does that mean? And how can I use it? I'm going to have a look at the lesson. We bring it up. And have a look at the lesson. Love holds no grievances. So Course in Miracles 67, because I need some help today to get through the day. Love holds no grievances. What does it mean? So if you are just starting out, how's this going to help you? How's it going to help you get through the day? All right? Okay. So let's do a share with the Zoom, screen share. Love holds no grievances. There we go. You who were created by love itself can hold no grievances and know yourself. To hold a grievance is to forget who you are. To hold a grievance is to see yourself as a body. To hold a grievance is to let the ego rule your mind and condemn the body to death. Perhaps you do not fully realize just what holding negative grievances does to your mind. It seems to split you off from Source and make you unlike Source. It makes you believe that God is like what you think you have become, for no one can conceive of his creator as unlike himself. Shut off from yourself, which remains aware of its likeness to its creator. Yourself seems to sleep, while the part of your mind that weaves illusions in its sleep appears to be awake. Can all this arise from holding grievances? Yes. For he who holds grievances denies he was created by love, and his creator has become fearful to him in his dream of hate. Who can dream of hatred and not fear God? It is assured that those who hold grievances will redefine love in their own image, as it is certain that love created them like itself and defined them as part of him or her. It is sure that those who hold grievances will suffer guilt, as it is certain that those who forgive will find peace. It is sure that those who hold grievances will forget who they are, as it is certain that those who forgive will remember. Would you not be willing to relinquish your grievances if you believed all of this was so? Perhaps you do not think you can let your grievances go. That, however, is simply a matter of motivation. Today we will try to find out how you would feel without grievances. If you succeed, even by ever so little, there will never be a problem in motivation ever again. Begin today's extended practice period by searching your mind for those against whom you hold what you may regard as major grievances. Some of these will be quite easy to find, and think of the seemingly minor grievances you hold against those you like and even think you love. It will quickly become apparent there is no one against whom you do not cherish grievances of some sort. This has left you alone in all the universe in your perception of yourself. Determine now to see those people as friends. Say to them all, thinking of each one in turn, I would see you as my friend, that I may remember you are part of me and come to know myself. Spend the remainder of the practice period trying to think of yourself as completely at peace with everyone and everything, safe in a world that protects you and loves you, and that you love in return. Try to feel safety surrounding you, hovering over you and holding you up. Try to believe, however briefly, that nothing can harm you in any way. At the end of the practice period, say, love holds no grievances. When I let all my grievances go, I will know I am perfectly safe. Love holds no grievances. Let me not betray myself. Love holds no grievances. I would wake to myself by laying all my grievances aside and waking in love. Right? That's the lesson for today. So it's saying to me, a grievance is saying that something is bad or wrong. A grievance is when it hurts me so much because I can't control it. Love holds no grievances, you know, because you see everything and everyone as a lesson. And so forgiveness is the only thing you can do here. So when these innocent people are hurt by something that you hate, which is the medical profession now, it's very hard to do. I'm finding it hard to do today. How do I do it? Because this is not coming from today. I'm reminding myself, this is coming from what I saw them do to my mother and father. Innocent people that they forced, my mother, they forced chemo on her and they poisoned her to death. This is not coming from today, and I could do nothing about it. This is why I'm upset about Eileen, because she's old and it's what they did to Dad. But what if this is not my job? To control people and to teach them. They have to learn themselves. And what if their soul knows what they need to do in order to highlight this, in order to wake up the world? And if I stop it, I am standing in between their soul journey. What right do I have to do that? Or I'm standing in between the journey of the masses waking up, because a lot of people will die from the side effects of this. Is that a way to looking at it? What if instead of being angry with the neighbours that are chatting about it and going on about it, I'll say they'll learn, and it's not my job to teach them. And why should I suffer today? I'm love, I'm peace, I'm bliss. Why should I suffer today? Can I not just have a nice day and sit in the sun? In spite of what they're saying? They'll learn. Can I just sit with what they did to my mum? And all that either? And all of these people that died in the name of money and science and greed and medicine, can I just not try to understand that that was their soul journey and mine isn't? Because I know the truth. and I'm awake. And why should I have a miserable day because of them? Can I just not try to have a happy day today and try to make those that want to be happy, happy, in spite of what's going on in the world? So again, I protect myself. I go back in my shell. I keep away from anyone who I can't deal with today because it's just too much. Or I face it tiny bits. They've all gone in now. I can go back in the sunshine. And then if they come out again, I go back inside and I work at that. Love holds no grievances, but I do my best because we're not living in a normal world at the moment. So I do my best to survive on a day-to-day basis. That's all I can do. I love you. Have a beautiful day in spite of what's going on. Don't watch the media. Try and stay in the positive. But if you need to meditate on why this bothers you. This is reminding me of my mother being poisoned to death and my father. And I wasn't allowed to do anything about it. It'll always take you to a place where you're helpless and vulnerable as a child. And I've got plenty of those. Where they took it away from you and you couldn't do anything about it. You had no control. Now I have control. They've all gone in. It was just a moment. In this moment, they've all gone in. I can go back in the sun and I can put this on YouTube. I love you. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi everyone, and welcome to our holistic show. Today we have La Belle Hélène, the lovely Helen Greenway, on our show. And Helen has come to talk to us today about yoga. From eating disorder and anorexia. As you can see, she's absolutely beautiful. This time last year, Helen was very ill and we nearly lost her. I'm very grateful to say that she's very well now. And I'm very interested in Helen telling us a little bit about how did she go from being, what, size...
It was 35 kilos.
35 kilos to whatever you are now. You don't have to say what you are, but we can see how beautiful you are and how healthy you look. So, and you didn't actually use the conventional way, which a lot of people go the conventional way, and that's what we're really interested here in moving on TV and highlighting all the new ways that people are using in order to find their health. So, what did you actually do? How did you do it?
I suppose first of all, I feel like I should just say what happened just a little bit prior to me getting the 35 kilos. There was, I suppose, if we're talking in terms of linking it to the book and things like that, I suppose I did want to be a certain shape, but what I would say is I didn't realise how I had the, how your mind basically can influence you so strongly, and therefore you can end up in basically a situation like I ended up in last year at 35 kilos. So I got parasites in India when I went there 7 years ago, and I do feel like that was a bit of a, what's the word, one of those wishes that you make that comes true. I don't know how much detail you want me to go into with that, but basically I was, for 7 years I was underweight, then came back to England, and then last year ended up getting something which then just tipped the boat, so I ended up at 35 kilos.
Can I just say that when you mentioned the book, I actually forgot to say that Helen is actually going to be writing a book, which we're going to talk about in a minute, but when you referred to that, it's part of what happened to you, and the book that you're actually writing about how you moved from where you were to where you are.
Yeah.
So that I just thought I'd fill you in a little bit about what happened.
So I suppose how I recovered from being such low weight was basically I wanted to do it the non-conventional way. I wanted to know how to heal my body from the internal way that would just be using natural whole foods, and I found somebody who was trained specifically in working with people who are malnourished, and it was all to do with using traditional recipes, old-fashioned ways that have been around basically for centuries but have been forgotten because it takes too long and it's not quick, it's not instantaneous, it's not on the shelf, it takes time, you know. Family were boiling up bones and things like that to get the nutrients out of animal products basically. So it was a process of using all traditional methods. And
so give us an example. For example, because if you're looking at, say, we've got this young person who has been diagnosed with an eating disorder, they're more or less disappearing bit by bit. And the first thing would be they would be taken to a doctor or an eating disorder clinic. How are you able to not go through that process? Because that would be the process that usually people would have to go through, and unfortunately a lot of the times they don't actually work, or there's a lot of problems. So how were you able to go in a different way? I mean,
it did take a lot of strength to say to the eating disorder unit, I'm going to do this on my own, and most of them said no, you'll be back, and had no belief that I could basically do it. But more or less I did have a lot of support from home, but I had the support of a dietitian who was GAPS trained, which is what I was talking about. And her name's Kay Willis. She's an amazing woman. But because we had this plan, we worked together with her. She'd never cured anyone before with an eating disorder, and she was very scared when she met me at the 35 kilo mark because she knew it was life or death situation. She didn't know how she was going to do it, how it was going to work, or if it was going to work, but we just trusted that we could do it. And really it was a case of telling the eating disorders unit, I'm going to do this a different way, and really we just had to match things up that needed to be done in terms of safety. So I had to go to the doctors every week and have all the things that would normally have been done in an eating disorders unit, but then I had the health side from home in terms of good nourishing food. I didn't eat any rubbish, you know. I'm just not into packet stuff, I'm not into jar stuff, I'm into as natural as you start, you know, from the ground. Food comes from the earth, it doesn't come out of a jar, it doesn't come out of a packet. So it was just essential for me to build up my body. My gut intuition was, I need to do this properly, and I need to do it with a good grounding from somebody who knows what they're doing, and this lady really did. She's a homeopath as well, so she's got a lot of knowledge.
Because, as I say, when we knew you first, just over a year ago, you were struggling so much, and you had to take those shakes, didn't you?
Yeah.
That they prescribed you with, probably with lots of nutrients and minerals and things to help build you up.
Yeah.
So you were working basically with a homeopath,
in conjunction,
with nutrition, and also taking these shakes.
Taking those shakes, which I agree, that I'd forgotten about that. That was something that I had a lot of resistance to. They weren't the best, but they were a helping hand, and they were conventional.
You had to take
but
them,
I had to,
they would have put you back into hospital.
Yeah, that was actually one of the conditions, that I go home, but I still have these shakes.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Helen, that we know that eating disorders, everything comes from the mind.
Exactly.
And crisis and trauma.
Exactly.
So how did you work through that? Because again, everything we believe is the mind, body, spirit thing, and everyone who's diagnosed, that it's not enough just to go on shakes or just to eat. How did you deal with the rest of it?
That's a really interesting question, because when it comes to being told I had anorexia nervosa, or an anorexic disorder, I know for me, I never wanted to be skinny. That was never part of my makeup. But what was part of my makeup was the idea of pushing myself, as always striving to do my utmost best, to be the fittest, to be the strongest. And when you're in that mentality of pushing yourself, sometimes things basically you don't realise what you're doing to your body. You just,
this is perfectionism thing?
It's this perfectionism thing. Yeah. And it's just the idea that everything will be fine, just keep pushing, just keep pushing. And that was the interesting thing, you know, for everybody who has an eating disorder, there will be something different that will have triggered the situation they're in. It might not just be as simple as, I want to look like Kate Moss. There might be a lot of other things involved, like a spider's web, and it's a case of untangling those. So I had friends come over, you might know one of them, who did things, meditation and hypnosis with me. I had Kay, basically the homeopath and dietitian. She's also has a side to her, which is counselling, using all sorts of different techniques, but Louise Hay and things like that. So there was, in terms of working with people with eating disorders, I think the most important thing to understand is it's never just a straightforward, I want to be skinny. There's so much more to unravel. So for me, I just worked with a lot of different practices, a lot of different healing types, you know, from meditations to practical things like getting myself just in the mindset of putting on weight. Just that whole feeling of having a bigger body. Just had to sort of stay with that. A lot of praying, obviously, and just trying to really get into the situation, as a lot of the things say today, you know, to The Secret, just imagine you are in that moment of being healthy. So that was a lot of it. And somebody also said to me, just be grateful for this. And I remember thinking...
Can you explain that a bit?
Yeah, I remember thinking, how can I be grateful for being 35 kilos, not being able to walk,
really
barely being able to, like, get out of bed and having to, like, how can I be grateful for this? And when this friend said it to me, I just remember thinking, okay, this feels like I've got to try this, but I'm not sure how. Anyway, that night I went to bed and I thought, right, okay, I'm going to try and be grateful. I remember just saying, but I'm not grateful for this. How can I be grateful for this? And I just remember thinking, no, just cast that aside, cast the judgment aside and go with, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for this.
So what could you find in there to be thankful for?
To be totally honest, I was just saying it to start with. I was just saying, I'm thankful for this. I couldn't realistically say I was, but I was like, I'm going to trust that if I say this, something will come. And I just began to say it little by little every day. And at some point, I remember I began to put the weight on. And at some point, I was still doing it every day. I still do it every day now, actually. But at some point, I remember lying there and thinking, And there was an aha moment, and I suddenly realised, I know what I'm thankful for. And it was literally, I'm thankful for this healing time. Because everyone has things happen in their childhood. And I was actually given an opportunity of a huge chunk of my life, practically a year of my life, to heal a lot of things that went on in my childhood through that process.
So it's about, sorry to stop you there. So basically, we don't take care of ourselves. We don't nurture ourselves. And then one day, boom, something happens. And we really need to stop. It's like with, I believe, with a dis-ease means you're in some kind of dis-ease.
Disconnection.
And you need to reconnect back to your body, and you need time to do that. And you know, and rebuild yourself and give yourself that nurturing that you weren't able to give yourself. And so I think it's a lot about self-love and accepting ourselves. I think one of the things, I mean, I also went through an eating disorder as a child. For quite a long time I went through an eating disorder till my early 30s. It was really about where you feel it's the self-protection thing. You can't control anything, but you can control the food. And you have these rituals of food and everything. And it's just the only thing that you have control over in your life. And then love comes in, unconditional love comes in. And then suddenly you don't really need it as much because you can do other, and you know, you can let it go. And I think the thing about the gratitude, people... There are misconceptions about gratitude sometimes. I think we always say thank you for when we get things that make us happy.
Totally.
Don't we? But a lot of the time, I think if you can say thank you to everything, then you're just surrendering. I'm saying, oh, I don't really know what's good for me. But you now know that you have to go through that process in order to become what you're becoming now. And there's the book. Finally, Curves. Where did you come up with such an incredible name?
To be totally honest, I can't really remember. It just sort of, I think I just suddenly came up with funnily curves, and then I thought, no, finally, because it was like, oh my God, I've been praying for this for months, and finally I've got my curves back, you know, finally after so long of praying, of wanting to put on weight, just wanting to have my normal life back, you know, do normal things like make myself a meal and have that body that I knew I'd had once, and just through, you know, various things it had disintegrated, just wanted those curves back. I wanted to be Helen again. And it was just literally like, oh, finally curves, they're here, you know.
It's just an incredible name. I mean, I know you used to live with us, and one day I went on the computer and I saw this thing and I started reading it. I thought, oh my God, that is brilliant. I wish I could write like that. And I thought, oh, who's done it? And then I suddenly sort of realised, oh, it must be you, because it was all about the process of what you were going through. So we're looking forward to the book, to you actually writing the book and reading it to us here on Moving On TV, and helping a lot of women and men, you know, anyone who has a body image issue, because it's just an awful way to live. As I say, I remember as a child, I remember as a young person, as I say, even in my 20s, all I cared about was food. And I lived with so much fear. If I used to break my diet, it was like, oh my God. And trying to fit into these really tight clothes, and then losing all the weight and getting really, really thin, and then putting it all back on again, because it's just this awful confusion and cycle. And who wants to live like that? So we're really looking forward to...
I think on that, it's also, it's just really quickly, it's sad in the day and age that we're in that there is such a disconnection to how food basically comes about. You know, how I think part of that whole issue between body image and being fearful of putting on weight is just the lack of connection with how it's grown and how it's harvested, and that just mix up between basically the use of energy and then the use of the amount of food that we eat. So it's just become unbalanced, and I think because we live in a day and age where people are just so like work orientated, they don't have that sense of connection with the environment. So there's no sense of that. It really, I think it comes down to a lack of connection with self and lack of connection with the environment, and that just becomes a cycle for people. And then food just becomes a replacement for things like love, because people can't give themselves love because they're so exhausted from working.
That's true.
It seems to be such a thing of our day and age.
It's not. I think it's a lot also the body. What the outside of the body has become too important. From the time we're more or less born, we're told that we've got to look good on the outside.
Yeah.
And the pressure that is put on us. I was never, I have this really strange figure where people said, friends used to say, we turn you upside down, you'll have the perfect figure because I'm so narrow here and big here, you know, and that used to really get to me as a young person. Now I can't do as long as I'm healthy.
Yeah.
But, you know, as a young person, you see all these models and you see all these people and you think, I've got to look like that. And I can't. And such pressure.
Yeah.
And then you have depression, then you have eating disorders, then you have all sorts. And I think what we need to do, and I'm hoping we're going to do this on maybe on TV more, is to learn what's inside is much more important.
Yeah.
Your talents and your creativity and your love.
It's funny that you talk about that, because we haven't said much about yoga, but just briefly, I'm a yoga teacher, and I think just in terms of realising, I think yoga definitely has helped me really come to this understanding that, you know, we talk about it not being important what you look like. Yeah, everyone knows that, but really and truly, how can you believe that when we keep seeing all these images? And so that's, for me, the best thing about being a yoga teacher is this realisation that you're always developing internally, you're always developing these beautiful strengths. We all have these strengths. Yeah, we have weaknesses, but we all have strengths, and we all are individuals. As the Monty Python sketch says, we're all individuals. We all have those beautiful things that people, that you touch people with, and with yoga, that really does help me bring out my full potential. And I've noticed over time, it's making me stronger, more confident in things, in my creativity, and I think we all have weaknesses. You begin to see those weaknesses for what they are, and you begin to observe them more and just understand and become aware of them more. So it's one of those practices anyone can do. You don't have to be skinny, this whole thing around being flexible. I can't do yoga because I'm not flexible. No, that's not what it's about. You come to yoga, you do what little you can do, and slowly you progress and you develop. That's where everyone starts. And I think if you can just get down on the floor and do one thing a day, give yourself 2 minutes with your body and just say, I'm going to stretch it. I think that's the best thing you can do for it.
I mean, I must admit, I'm not very good with exercise, but whenever we go down to Untitled Valley, and I absolutely love Untitled Valley, it's my favourite place in the world, I always ask Martin to park the car up at the top and then meet me down at the bottom. I'll walk down to the bottom and then he'll pick me up. Yeah. And I feel, you know, I've got my exercise that way, or maybe when I'm acting and performing, and you do feel a lot better. Yeah, wow. So when are you qualifying?
I am a qualified yoga teacher. I'm just doing an integration course because I qualified in Australia. So I'm doing one with the British Wheel of Yoga here. It's just to bring the two across. You know how different people have different organisations focus on different things, and I wanted to focus a bit more on anatomy in England. Brilliant. That's what the course does. So yeah, I've just got a few assessments at the moment on that. But it's been something like yoga is like you know, you can imagine it's this 360 view, and you start off with this much, and you go, oh wow, there's that much, and then you go, oh wow, and then you go, oh my god, there's that much. Oh. But yeah, it's just a fascinating journey.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll bring you on. Maybe you could do some live yoga.
Oh, I'd love to.
And people can actually practice with you a little bit.
That would be really lovely.
That's great. So is there anything else you feel you'd like to say about your journey with the food, or anything say you've got this young person out there, and as I say, they're completely lost, this teenager, or doesn't know what to do. What would you advise them, Helen? What do you think they should do?
I would really say, I know it's probably one of the hardest things to do, but try whatever you can to just talk to somebody, even if it's a friend, even if you can't talk to mum or dad, to just express things, because the worst thing you can do is let it bottle up and hide things, and the shame builds up around it. So if you can just open out, and it might feel like the most shameful thing you're going to have to say, but it's the best thing that you can do, because that's what it's about. It's about opening your heart and just going, look, this is who I am. I'm not very happy with it, but I need to really talk to someone about this. So just confide in somebody, and you might find little bit by little bit something might open out and develop, and the more you talk about it, little by little, you can even just say to someone, I need to talk to you a little bit about something. I can only tell you a little bit right now, but I want to talk to you a bit more, maybe as we get to know each other a bit better, or it might be a really good friend, but just let them know there is more to tell them, but you can't tell them it all at that point. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, because one of the things is the pressure with the family.
Yeah.
And because we watched what you went through, and I saw, and there was a lot of pressure, because I think when people don't understand the condition, or they love you too much, obviously your parents get so frightened, the pressure they put, unfortunately they don't know they're putting too much pressure on you, which can actually cause you to actually not be able to heal. So what Helen was saying is sometimes maybe it's good to talk to obviously a professional if you can, which is very important, or just confide in a friend, because sometimes when you talk to a parent you might feel that they can't get in. And of course there's a Samaritan, so I'm just going to give you the number. You can ring them on 01895 253355, and they'll always be there for you. But so we're going to have to finish now, so thank you very much, Helen. Thank you
so much.
Thank you.
Really
It's so wonderful that you're so well. And like I say, we'll be seeing Helen soon, the final occurs.